Welcome back to the channel. If you're returning, and if you're new and like to skip intros because you're a fucking asshole, my name is Shinto. Yeah, I like to skip cool shit, blah 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 blah. That's you, skippers. Yeah, you damn skippers. Welcome to Underrated, Overrated. In this series, we'll be taking manga I've read before and haven't even heard of, and basically we're going to be scoring it based off a number of things. And at the end, we're going to call it underrated, overrated, or underrated, overrated. Or something else. So, basically, the manga we're going to be doing on episode 1, yeah, that's right, episode 1, is going to be called Shinmai Fukei Kiruko-San. Heard that? Can't blame me if it didn't. So here's the phases we're going to go and do this. First of all, we're going to start off with first impressions. So let's do that. So basically, our first impressions are going to be reading through chapter 1 to 3 of the manga of our choice. So let's do that. Basically, chapter 1. What happens? We get introduced to Anjo, Hiroko, and Kanjuru. And he's the Nagashima substation chief. You know, because they're police, and she wants to be a policewoman. You know. And basically, we introduced to them. Anjo's a huge pervert. He wanted a big titty woman, so he could sexually harass. And you know, you got Kiroko. You can't do that so easily. And she's his junior. So basically, the first chapter is basically how she does so much fucking damage, and she's kind of famous for it. And he gets a salary cut every time that happens. So basically, he's trying to find a way to, or she just pushes to do something about something. And basically, they find a criminal which Anjo suspects to be a penny thief. Of course, because he's a pervert, and pervert senses other pervertsness. And basically, he then catches him, the penny thief, in a real act of stealing a scooter. He tells Kiroko, "I'll take full responsibility. Just go out and just catch this motherfucker. All right, just do anything. Just to do anything, do it right. I'll take full responsibility," and she does it, and it creates a big mess. Welcome to Kiroko-san. Okay, chapter 2 starts out with him reading a porn magazine, and then gets interrupted by Kiroko. Kiroko says, "We gotta watch out in this rural area. There could be terrorists." He said, "What would that happen here?" Boom, it fucking happened. They go to check it out. It's a terrorist. Yeah, call me leader. You'll never see him again. You'll never see him again because he's a bitch. Alright? He doesn't matter. Alright? He looked like he could be important later on, but it's not like that. So basically, they show off a little bit more of Kiroko's power in this chapter. She takes a full-ass fucking rocket launcher, tanks that shit, goes up outside of the fucking building from the blast of the rocket launcher, and does arrest those motherfuckers. Of course, she still does damage in the end, but Kanjuro's like, you know what? Those guys were a bit too mischievous. Yeah. And basically takes out for her, and that's the end of chapter fucking 2. We go into chapter 3. She wants to do more policewoman stuff. Kanjuro's like, do some street talking, teaching. So so they go, and dresses up as their mascot Cerebrus, and she scares the fucking kids away. They're doing a terrible fucking job. The little smarts lady over here is saying, "Oh, you should check once more." You know, she's the daughter of the whatever. That's not really important. And of course, it eventually leads into what you might expect. The smarts girl gets in the actual accident, and Hiroko saves her by kicking Cerebrus, the Anjo inside the Cerebrus mascot, basically across the street while he tries to grab her, and blah blah blah. She says she's sorry, and that's the chapter 3. And then we get introduced to what I thought was gonna be enemies. I'm like, oh shit, we're picking up now enemies. That's my first impressions. Alright, so on to the next phase, full story. Can't be a review without summarizing the story, at least whatever is of the story, if there is a story and direction of the story. So this is what I gather from it from reading Hiroko-san. We start off where we left off. You know, those characters, Bullet and Chiaki. Yeah, Chiaki. And they basically become their allies after a little bit of rivalry between their police divisions. But they eventually end up on the same one, on the same substation, and they have to work together. Little next story beat is going into a casino in which they meet Mr. Phantom. Now I have to mention this. Bullet was part of a former mercenary squad called the Phantom Squad, which Kiroko came from as well. So they've known each other, and that's very important to mention. I forgot to mention that a little earlier in my words. And basically, they meet Mr. Phantom, which is in charge of the Phantom Squad that raised Kiroko. I'm gonna figure out where exactly why and how exactly did he raise her, or at least a little hint at how that came to be. A little later in the story, they fight because he wants her to kill him for some fucking reason. It's not really clear why, or if it's no. There is nothing. There's nothing. There's no clear why. They have a little tussle at the casino. He leaves. And whatever, we go a little forward to the little TV special that they had about Kiroko. It was a little fun thing, but eventually that didn't really go anywhere. Of course, we eventually get to Kanjiro getting the disc after Kiroko failed a mission that he has sent him to Tokyo for, or one of those places. And we learn about John Smith, and John Smith is a mastermind. Now, I'm gonna tell you how much I really don't like this fucking character right now. I do not like John Smith. He's so fucking annoying looking, and he's just it's just pointless having him here. Really, it just his presence irks the fuck out of me for some reason. And I don't know. Basically, trying to arrest John Smith. He has higher ups because he's a mastermind. And they go meet Phantom again, but Angel is a part of, with them, and he reminds her of the father, so they stop. He leaves again. They go ahead and arrest the mastermind. They lose their jobs and gain it back. That's it. Now, character development. Now, usually this session will be discussing the progress of our hero from the beginning to end, our heroes, our villains, and how much they change, and much more longer session. But the story is short, and we don't get that much of a change with these characters, besides Kuroko, and learning more about her and her moves. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Not much. So we move on to final impressions, or ending impressions, as I say. So yeah, ending impressions. We're basically just skim through what I finally think about this story. There's a lot of key good moments, but there's a lot of bad moments. Like where was it going? And John Smith, and how much of a fucking piece of shit he is, and how much non-threatening bullshit he can do. I don't feel. Eventually Kuroko just attacks a motherfucker. Like, just so weird and pointless. After they lose their job and then gain it back, I could just see more potential coming out of this situation. And that's pretty much what I fear about how it is at that point. Potential. Warning indeed. There is a revival, so to speak, after its sudden end. And it's called Keite Hita Shinmai Fukei Kiruko-San. Now, what does it do differently, and how long did it last? Well, it was only 4 chapters. And as far as what it did differently, well, not much. It's just a continuation of what Kiriko fans might have already loved in the first place. Their little bullshit adventures. Kiriko decking out the car. Even one of the character twins, Mai, finding one of the Angel's porno books, says Angel actually adopted them. And the hot springs stuff and perverted shit from Angel. Stuff that that you would expect to see, but just a little add-on. A nice little add-on to the stories there. But now it's time to go to the next session. What would you change? Alright, so what would you change about Shinmai Fukei Kiruko-San. There's a few things I would definitely change. As you can see, I have the whole fucking timeline thing going on here. Now, tell me in the comment section below what would you change if you read the story before. So, I don't know, it doesn't matter how small it is or might, or how would you expand on it, per se. And I'm gonna tell you mine right now. Now, there's a point in the story on the main timeline, that's what we're calling it, what really happened, that Kiroko realizes that she doesn't really need to be a policewoman to protect something, and she captures a criminal doing something wrong, and then they immediately after that get approached by Kanjiro with a job offer. Basically, that's to be the policewoman again. That's basically a thanks to them for what they did with John, and it's kind of weird because the higher ups at their police were the reason why they got fired at the fucking first place. And that's where it basically technically ends for the story, but this is where I see a turning point and where it could have been. I think this is how I would change it. Now, instead of Kanjiro approaching him with the police job, he approaches them and they have a little interaction about and a little confession thing. He says, maybe exposes his a secret life as another thing. He said his chief was his other job while he was doing something with another group of people, maybe another squad, or so to say, that he's been a part of. But now that he wants the Kiroko-san and friends to join him, of course they would get paid though, as well. And Joe might not be so, weird. Might be so weird about that, but maybe then he'll eventually joins, and then Kiriko-san follows her senpai wherever he goes, type of thing. And basically, that could turn into the novice vigilante Kiroko-san type of deal. I think that could be very interesting in that direction, especially for comedy reasons as well. Now, one other important thing I want to note in this particular direction is making John, that could easily make other characters that we've seen, come back and actually mean as shit. Like John, for example, he kind of just gave the fuck up because he's fucking useless piece of shit. You want to make what kind of expansion, like, oh, I wanted to be captured, then I'm gonna report to my higher up and say, yeah, Hiroko-san was just like this, isn't that right, Mr. Something or Miss Something, and responds with the next villain of the arc or something. They were just testing Kiroko-san and getting ready for the next battle. It just need to be amped up in some way, and maybe another expansion on Mr. Phantom and they coming back to help Kiroko-san possibly, or whatever. And that's basically what I would change in that alternate timeline. Tell me in the comments section below if you agree with that or not. It's pretty good. But now I think it's time for the score. Let's go. So the score. What could it possibly be? Underrated? Overrated? Fuck no. Overrated? Underrated? No. Underrated? Overrated? No. But what could it be if it's not any of those? Could it be underrated? Fuck no. It ain't underrated. Are you kidding me? It's missed potential. It's in the subcategory of underrated. That's what Shinmai Fukei Kiruko-San really is. There's a lot of missed things that I think the mangaka could have done. I just feel like there was no direction, and I think that's why I got canned in the first place. It was going nowhere. There was no crazy. It just needed to be amped up. John's a piece of shit, and yeah, I don't like that character. It's just this pure presence just ruins everything. Like, why? What do you do? Well, he sucks. He's a mastermind. The mastermind. Like, fuck off. Anyway, this manga definitely has some charm. Just parts of it I do like, and there's definitely going to be its fans, but overall it's just missed potential. Not even potential, missed. And that's the grade for Shinmai Fukei Kiruko-San. Yep, and I suggest you guys read it if you haven't, and officially support it, and if you can't, support it officially. And until the next confirmation, I'll be seeing you guys.